Now, it's not because I want to like be hit, and it's not because I'm actually trying to hit. I love doing something well, and I love the amount of focus it gives you.
Yeah.
When you're in there and you're doing it, you have to be so 10 steps ahead of what you're doing, and you have to be so in control of every muscle that it's almost like a meditation where you're relaxed.
It's true.
It's a very strange sensation where it's like I'm physically pushing myself to the point, but I'm relaxed.
And you know what's awesome is when you land that perfect punch with headgear or without, you can feel it through your whole body. It's like it completes you at that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Definitely.
You can't explain to somebody who's never boxed
before. It's an art form. Yeah. I do have to tell Kelly, though, one of the funniest things I ever heard is, after hours and hours of working with Sergio and everything, and we talk, he used to tell me, who's your favorite boxer? I don't have your favorite boxer, he would tell me. He used to think that was hysterical. And he did tell me, though, that Kelly landed the most solid punches. He was like, that guy has cement in his hands.
Well, I appreciate that.
I always thought that was funny. I always thought that was really funny. I thought, wow, I'm surprised they never rematched just because.
Well, I would have liked to rematch, but unfortunately, it wouldn't have probably happened at the contractual agreement that I would have wanted it. But I would have liked another shot. But hey, Sergio is a great fighter. Like I said, I mean, the kid's probably going to be Hall of Fame. I think easily he should be a Hall of Famer. So, there's no shame in my game on that. Things happen. It wasn't my night, but I lost to a very, very good fighter. So
I think that undeniably we both had great careers.
But he knows that what these hands can do. He knows that.
Oh, for sure. And he actually gives respect to it. I think that was one of the best things about working for him, but for me at least, where you could have a conversation where you didn't have to constantly be feeding his ego.
Yeah.
He could break down every fighter he fought and tell you like what their strength was and what he liked about it or what he learned from that fight. And I think that's a fighter's fighter.
Yeah, he always seemed like a humble fighter,
Yeah.
Not very many people work
definitely.
harder. Yeah. You don't see very many people work harder than Sergio Martinez.
Yeah. No, he does. I mean, he put the time in, so but we all did too. A lot of fighters. I would train. It was a job. I train 8-9 hours, really a day. That's what I put in, especially towards the end of like when I was fighting him. Making 160 was becoming almost very impossible. I mean, we were even bringing in top nutritionists and everything else for that, and just it comes to a point. You get old. The older you get, you're not growing tall no more, and you start growing wide and being almost 6'2", very close to 6'2".
Yeah.
It was just hard.
You're fighting nature.
Yeah. So we had to put the 8 hours in, whether it was strenuous training or if it was just going and wanting to sit down on the couch after being done working out all day. And it was the sauna, steam room, pickup game of basketball to burn calories. Yeah.
Sweatsuits everywhere.
Yeah. Abilene sweatsuits, all that fun stuff.
Abilene and sweatsuits.
Yeah.
Every time I see Abilene, I just literally break out. It's like, nope.
You guys are talking rich people stuff right now.
Well,
Abilene.
You had to, man. I was making money at that point, though.
Don't you know rich people on me? I trained in Colonia. Are you kidding? We had so much Abilene. It looked like we had Vaseline head to toe.
You ever use the
Abilene definitely.
They walk to the gym uphill.
I know.
With no shoes.
But I'll tell you what. If you get the baby oil, dump about a quarter out of it, and put rubbing alcohol in it, same thing. It costs $2.
Oh.
You can. And I never did the Abilene.
Oh, geez, man.
I only did the Abilene like up till the day before. I did it the day before the weigh-ins because you go back and you think about it. When you're sweating like that, all you are is
water.
You're just going home and drinking a glass of water and putting the weight back on what you lost. Now the day before the weigh-ins.
Can we not admit your abs look really good though?
You're doing a photo shoot.
Right.
I was never really an abby guy.
Really fat.
So me and Shannon.
I think it just makes you look like you're cut. It makes you look smaller, so you feel like your workout's working better.
Yeah, it's psychological.
Yeah, I had that, but the only other thing I needed somebody to put muscles in there too. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I don't know; those heavyweights hit pretty hard. Those heavyweights don't go down so easy.
Well, some of them do. You know, anytime you're
Yeah.
over 200 pounds and you're hitting somebody, you stand a good chance of hurting them. But
Yeah, it's amazing to me when we were doing the weight classes for this amateur event. There's like 3 or 4 like heavyweights, and I was just thinking, holy, like, whoa, you know. One of the kids I think weighs in at 245.
Jesus.
oh, big boy.
Yeah, and I'm just all wow.
I got a question for you, Shannon. I want to wait and throw it on you last minute to make you uncomfortable.
Oh, make me uncomfortable. Let's go.
What do you think about the incident that just happened at USA Boxing, that riot?
Oh, with that,
Yeah.
I got to tell you something. You know, here's my problem with boxing in general is that goes back to people who shouldn't even be in the sport. Those people aren't invested in the sport.
No.
Those people aren't emotionally fighters. All the people fighting on those sidelines are parents who are trying to make their children perform so they can live their dream.
Yep.
Coaches who are trying to make a name so that they can get their ego out there.
Exactly.
None of that wasn't between the children. That was between grown adults who have nothing going for themselves, that they have to go out there and feed off of these little kids.
Well, I have a good friend.
The most disgusting thing.
I was a good friend. She was a female referee in that fight, and she took a pretty bad beating.
I'm sure.
I don't referee.
I'm sure.
I was like,
when you look at what happened there, it's like I can't even believe. Here's my biggest problem with the whole thing: is how many people. It was a feeding frenzy.
yeah.
How many people were jumping in there, not stopping, jumping in there, and there's kids there.
Well, my thing is this:
the mentality.
how many grown men did it
the
take to beat
mentality
up?
is just-
How many grown men did it take to beat up a 5'1" woman in that ring? She's a referee.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Exactly.
And if you know this woman,
And why?
If you know this
And
woman
why?
like, yeah,
Why?
if you know this woman like I do, she bends over backwards for these fighters. You know what I mean?
I guess the only thing that I got my opinion on that situation is that's sad. I mean, what things are coming to now? I mean, that's just a sad incident. It's not a black eye on boxing. It's not. It's just
No.
a black eye on society.
No, you can find
You
it
know,
in any sport.
exactly.
You can Google right now and find it in soccer, football, whatever.
Like we're saying, I mean, these were kids, young kids. These weren't even 18-year-olds mainly. I mean, these were some very young kids in there. And instead of setting the stage and showing them, you know, how to handle a loss or how to handle a win or just sportsmanship,
Yeah.
instead you're showing them. I gotta watch how I word it, but you're showing them how to act like crazed people. You know, like derelicts. You know, that's the term that I'm going to use.
No, absolutely. It is a derelict behavior. And it's something where, you know, you're right. You can find it in any single sport. That's why I go back to parents who haven't achieved in their own lives.
Yes.
And they have these kids and they try to turn them out into like their ambitions or their dreams from their youth that they didn't have the guts to live.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
These kids have nothing to do with it. Most of the time, a child's introduced to a sport through a parent because that was that parent's love.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
If you're lucky, it goes for you. And it ends up being a good thing for you.
Well, in my
But a
case,
lot
it
of the
wasn't.
time-
My dad's favorite sport was horseshoes.
See,
Really?
Failure.
You could have never had to make weight. I think in horseshoes they get to eat barbecue and stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just
No.
a food lover sport.
You drink, you hold a beer can in one hand and throw a horseshoe with the other.
Want a nip of that Copenhagen in your
Even
mouth?
better. Even better.
No, but I think what has happened is I think a wake up call has been given to USA Boxing. USA Boxing for a long time has been limping along. You know what I mean? Not the same.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think it's time that they
But they
tighten up
don't
a little
really.
bit.
They don't really focus on those type of shows, them small shows though. I think USA Boxing's problem is they worry, which they should. They worry too much about like the big national
Of course.
tournaments, stuff like that. Don't they have local, your region. You know, the region that you're
everybody has
from.
a region.
Region.
So, yeah, I think the
And
region
I think
officials, the
it's
top
not
officials.
I would blame USA Boxing because USA Boxing is not responsible for a parent's reaction.
No.
I think the problem comes in is that what are you supposed to do? If you can't get people to act with sportsmanship, how is USA Boxing going to protect that referee? I mean, are you going to put guards at every corner, in each corner?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Really, Like, the referee didn't cause anything going on there. There's a process. If you don't agree with what's being said by a referee, we all know we can file something.
Yeah.
I think the local region has to do something.
Heaven forbid, people at a young age, children competing in a competition should have to learn something that we all had to learn as adults.
Yeah.
Life isn't always fair.
And it never will be.
Never will be. It's all perspective.
Well, you know what, too?
One judge may see this punch, one judge may see that punch.
Yep. Well, you know what my comment on USA Boxing is? They don't put the same type of effort or the same type of money or the same kind of resources that we had when we were younger. And therefore, you're getting people in the sport that we normally wouldn't last in the sport. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can get a kid here.
There for the sport anymore. I think that it was easier to focus on boxing when boxing was everything. And I think now that you have all these side shows going on of like the the backyard boxing.
Yeah.
You have, the MMA, like how many cajillions of MMA different venues are there? You have the people splitting off into the Muay Thais and the martial arts. There's such a larger scope now that every fighting institution is struggling to actually exist.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not, we grew up there with boxing.
Yeah.
That was it. Or you took karate lessons. There's like boxing, karate lessons. That was it.
That's it.
That's it, yeah.
It's spread out.
Yeah, I got into it because I started with wanting to take karate, and then karate didn't work out for me. It was nothing against it, was just too boring for me. There wasn't enough contact. So.
Oh, yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. But listen, we got to, we're going to let you go, and we would love to have you back on again.
See you later.
Yes, anytime you want.
Anytime, guys.
You rock. That was a really good interview. Thanks for
And for those who don't know,
Play horseshoes.
horseshoes.
we're going to set up a match, too, in horseshoes.
You are so done, Shannon. It's in the DNA. Horseshoes are in the DNA for me.
I'm a ringer.
He's a ringer.
And while I got Shannon here, I want to thank Shannon Torres Gilman for coming on today, and also
Thank you so much.
giving her time to us. And if you get out and you see this WBC Cares, support it. It's such a great thing for kids and adults and people in need, and they're there for our next generation.
For sure.
Great. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for giving me a venue to talk through.
You're welcome anytime.
Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to The Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez, and I would like to give a shout-out to our sponsor, Everlast, the choice of champions, with apparel and fight gear and fight equipment, the best around. James, while we're here doing a show, I also want to give a shout-out to one of my favorite female fighters.
Who's that, Kelly?
She's badass. In and out the ring, her name is Marcia Cornejo.
I've heard of her. She's a middleweight, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Very interesting show today, actually. We got a new guy in studio.
A new producer.
Yes. Caleb Grayson.
Grayson, yeah.
Grayson. He wrote it. He wrote it down. So I'm reading it to
You just asked me. I memorize those things. I'm a Gemini.
Well, I knew it was Caleb. But hey, Caleb, how you doing?
Hey, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming and getting us set up. We were kind of in emergency mode there for a minute too.
Thanks for being patient with us.
Oh, you guys are great. This is a great show, man.
Thank you.
Good time.
So does that mean it's free?
I'll let you talk to my manager wife.
Oh, it's on the house.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's okay.
We'll negotiate. We'll stay negotiating with you, not your wife.
It's free if I can stay here tonight because I can't go home.
Yeah, you can stay here.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
We don't knock the hustle. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you got 2 bedrooms back there. So.
No, but I'll tell you what. Caleb is what we need for this show at the time. Nothing on our last producer. Dave was a great guy. And but I think you get to a point where you start seeing things in different directions.
Yeah.
And I think Dave wanted things to go a certain way, and I think our idea for the show is different. Nothing bad, but some people fit together, some people don't. I wish Dave the best luck out there. He's a great producer and an asset to anybody.
Yeah. I'd love to still BS with him too. He's a good guy. Really is.
But like I said,
he's great. He's good, very good at what he does. But.
Yeah,
I'll bet shoes to fill.
Well, we got Caleb here though, and we're gonna have some fun.
And he's hired, so he can't go away. So
the shows are back on air. There won't be no what do you call it? Delays, pauses, breaks, or anything like that. So
Nope.
Onward ho.
Yep.
And did you tell him our ghost supernatural show is going to be?
Oh, I want to be on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
We're going to do a part 2 on that.
Sweet.
yeah. So that's gonna be a good one. You like that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I'm kind of into the like esoteric
Yeah,
sciences.
we're gonna do one. We're gonna go EVP in one night. We're gonna do all kind of stuff. But we did.
I
do
think
a
I
ghost
give that
show.
up,
No, I haven't.
but we won't say why.
But we're gonna we have a show right now that's in the bag that we want to release. It'll be within a day or two. We'll have that first episode released, and then from there it's your show.
All right.
Caleb, and whatever you want to do, we're here for you.
Yeah. So go brainstorm, get some ideas,
right.
and then we'll toss them on. But we're going to wrap it up here with the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. We will have the links up for emails and everything else for questions and things like that. So stay tuned, bear with us, and we're going to have everything going very smooth.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great day.